What is going on, all you minties? This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, and join me today as I do overviews of these two hardcovers from Humanoids books. We have The 7 Lives of Alejandro Jodorowsky and the Metabarons second cycle, so please stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. Before I get started, a huge thank you to the folks at Humanoids for sending us copies of these hardcovers. So we're going to start with The 7 Lives of Alejandro Jodorowsky, and then we'll talk about the Metabarons second cycle. One of the things I wanted to do first, though, is do a quick little size comparison. So this is a standard size trade paperback, and this is what it looks like next to this oversized hardcover here. Here it is compared to the size of an oversized hardcover, and these oversized hardcovers are as tall as the omnibus format, so that's why I wanted to do a quick comparison. So it is a little bit taller than the Metabarons second cycle hardcover. But before we talk about Metabarons, let's talk about this book right here, The 7 Lives of Alejandro Jodorowsky. Now, if you're not familiar with the name, he's the guy that created the entire wonderful, amazing world of the Incal universe. Now, he's done a lot of work, and a lot of it has been translated over into English by Humanoids. So, this book right here retails for $39.99. Let's take a look inside. Him being one of my favorite creators, I immediately started reading this book because I love finding out things about the people whose work I admire. So this is not a comic book, okay? So let's just lay this out there. This is more of a biography on the man himself. It is written by Vincent Bernier, and I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I'm sure I am. There's an introduction, a genealogy, and this is sad because it talks about some of his kids that have passed away. Some of them that became artists, some of them that became actors. So he's had a lot of heartbreak in his life, and then some selected work they've chosen, table of contents. The book is put really well together. So the life before talks about his life before he got into writing and how he grew up. And then every once in a while we have a comic book page, of course this being from the Incal, and that's artwork by Mobius. Can't flip through every page, but I find his story so interesting. Like, you know, he's the guy that tried to make the Dune movie, right? This cursed Dune movie, and sadly nothing worked out in his favor. So we ended up getting what we got. However, there is a new Dune movie coming out, but it talks about his relationship with Mobius, their story together, because I did skip some because I wanted to get to the chapters that I'm really familiar with in his life, or the ones that I wanted to know more behind the scenes about it. There, of course, is the Incal right there. And Metal Hurlant, which was the magazine that they were originally published in. Makes me want to go back and revisit that universe of the Techno Priest and the Metabarons. So it's a good thing that Metabarons second cycle came in, because it has been a little while since the Son of the Gun right there. Which, this is really cool, but he told the artist to base it on his son, because his son, the actor that passed away, was supposed to play the role of the character in a movie that was never made. There's a lot of philosophy here, mythical things and spirituality. So, you know, be prepared for some heavy reading. It's a great book. And one of my favorite things, you all know how easy I am to please sometimes when it comes to these collected editions. But it does come with a ribbon. That's awesome. I love that. To me, that's extra bonus. The book has 208 pages. And like I said, I can't flip through everything here, but oh, this is cool. This shows different pages from different books that he's done. And I can't show all of them, of course, because if you know anything about Jodorowsky, there's a lot of mature content in some of this stuff. Now, with 208 pages, the paper quality is this thick, glossy paper. As far as the binding, you can barely see, but it is sewn binding, and there's that little bitty eye right there. And it's a really cool book, I have to say. Very interesting to find out a lot of the things, and I am literally 1/10 of the way through. I've been skipping chapters. I haven't even read his stuff on this cinematography or apparently music. Like, I had no idea he wrote music. So very cool if you're interested in the life of the man who created a lot of the books that you're probably familiar with. And here is Metabarons second cycle. If you have the very first hardcover, this is exactly what the spine looks like, except it says second cycle right there. So I like that it matches up. Maybe one day we'll get one of those oversized limited edition hardcovers, like the box sets that we've gotten of Incal and Metabarons. This one here retails for $39.99, and I noticed that it's got a David Goyer little blurb here, and a Warren Ellis little blurb about the importance of this universe of the Metabarons. Now, if you all know and have been following my channel for a while, you know how much I love the Metabarons. I've said this before many times, and I'll say it again. To me, it is better than Incal, and I know that might be blasphemous to hear for some people, but that's just my opinion. I think the characters were a lot better. I love the action in it. And of course, when you're dealing with Juan Jimenez's artwork, who did the original series, by the way, not this, rest in peace, that is, to me, top notch. So, what is this? What is Metabarons' second cycle? I thought we were done with the story if you've read the first one, right? Well, it's the return of No Name. He is back, the character from the original series. And all of this, again, taking place in the Incal universe. You need to have read Incal to enjoy Metabarons? Not at all. I did an overview of the original box set that came out earlier this year, the limited edition one. And this is a follow-up to that. So this takes place after the events of that box set, if you have it, or that original hardcover. So it kicks off with a story of No Name and some of the remaining Metabarons, and then we have a flashback as to how we got there. So you'll see the return of a lot of terminology and names from the original series, like Bushitaka, the Kastaka, the Techno Priest. So be prepared for that. If you've not read the original one, this one might be confusing. Now, this is a little bit different because this one is written by Jodorowsky, but he only did the story. The dialogue, or maybe co-plotter, was Jerry Frizen. And then we also have art by Valentin Sescher. Valentin Sescher does most of the book. It comes with a ribbon, too. Cool. And then we have artwork by Nico Henrichon. I hope I'm pronouncing Nico's name right. Pride of Baghdad, New X-Men, has worked on several projects at DC and at Marvel. However, I'm not familiar with Valentin Sescher, but Valentin's artwork is freaking awesome. It reminds me more of... It's funny, okay? So this is really cool. As I was reading this Valentin's artwork reminds me a lot of Juan Jimenez's artwork, whereas Nico's artwork reminds me more of Mobius's artwork, like with a more of a painted style, if that makes sense. So that's the differences, but both of them really play off of each other. There's a couple pages here towards the beginning that Nico drew, and that's during Valentin's story, because Valentin drew like the very first book, because this was originally published as 3 different books, and translated here from Humanoids like that as well, but Nico pretty much focused on the second book of that. And I'm skipping a lot of pages because of the sexual content. So these books do have mature content. I know I don't have to tell anybody that's read any of his work before that, but for you new readers that are looking at this artwork, just keep that in mind. Now, this isn't the first time we've seen a Metabaron spin-off. We've seen the Weapons of the Metabarons and the, Dissecting the Metabarons, but that's more of a behind the scenes. This is a true successor to that series. It is beautifully drawn. I'm only a third of the way in, and it already feels like I'm back in the world of Metabarons, and it's characters that I've missed. So if you want to know more about that, click on the link above, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in that video where I do the unboxing of the Metabarons Limited Edition, which is still in print, so you get artwork like this, crazy, insane, violent stuff. So, let's look at the extras. This book, by the way, censoring that final page because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but this is the meta bonus stage right here, has 360 pages is what I was going to say. And then we've got about 15 to 20 pages worth of extras like sketches and some character designs, both by Nico and by Valentin. So, for some reason that picture, I remember seeing it before online, I guess that always reminds me of Ted Cord, Blue Beetle. So, not going to showcase all of these, but just wanted to show some of them. I wish they had collected more of the spaceship designs. I wish they had done that. And as far as the binding of the book, it is perfect. It is sewn binding. There's that eye for something with this many pages. That works really well. So if you're not familiar with this world of the Incal or Techno Priest or Metabarons and want to take a look inside, I will say one thing. If you're not used to the European style of storytelling when it comes to comics, it takes a little bit to get used to. I'm not saying it's impossible, right? Because some people have problems reading manga, and some people have problems reading European comics, or for that matter, comics that are written outside of the US. That is a problem that I know some of my viewers have had. So that's one thing to keep in mind. This is a European style of storytelling, even though Alejandro's from Chile. But anyway, that, as they say, is that. Now, both of these books can be ordered from our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online source for collected editions up to 50% off retail price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on excellent packaging, so your stuff gets to you in excellent condition, and they have amazing customer service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And for all you Minties that are watching, if you're a first-time customer, don't forget to mention that Near Mint Condition sent you their way for a promotional credit on free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for US customers. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your source for the hottest books with deep discounts, customer service, and excellent shipping that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the page count and the build and the content of each of these hardcovers. Let me know in those comments down below if you've picked any of these up, if you're a fan of the Incal universe, or the Metabarons, or the Techno Priest, or Megaplex, whatever it is that got you into this wonderful, amazing universe, let me know in those comments down below. If you're a fan of Jodorowsky's life story, I think it's a really unique and interesting and heartbreaking life story. And this book is freaking amazing for those fans of his comic work, his writing, his movies, his music, whatever it is that you're a fan of, you should definitely check out this book. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button, and ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. We can be found on Redbubble and on Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel. Thank you so much to our existing patrons. More importantly, please everybody stay healthy, stay safe out there, and much love to all of you.